Hey everybody. It has been way too long since I sent you a voice video blog thing. I was walking to the park this morning and I was thinking it would be an amazing day to share. Got sunshine and a bit of clouds, and maybe I'll get distracted by people, but hey, if you can roll with it, I can roll with it. Just want to share this view with you, so I'm going to turn, as I often do, but check this out. All those tulips, all those flower beds. So I'm staring at all this beauty. I may end up sitting on a bench. But yeah, just wanted to start the day wandering a little bit before I get back to base and everything that is waiting there and exciting to-do lists. You know, you start the day and it's always good to start with Papa. So yeah, I was thinking it had been, I guess, about 2 months since I have updated. I shared with you guys about February and the outreach we had then, and it is crazy to think that May is almost here. So yeah, I just wanted to update you on the last few weeks have been jam-packed, but in a different way. Jam-packed with God's goodness, not necessarily busy schedule, but just seeing His goodness in the day-to-day and seeing His goodness in the moments of rest and in the moments of maybe a different pace than life per usual. So don't know if you remember, we run training schools within Urban Key every April, July, and October in the house that I live in. And then January runs in another one of the locations. So we had a school that graduated at the beginning of March, and March always tends to be kind of a rest month, a different pace. We still have all the local ministries that we're connected to, but we don't have a full-time schedule with DTS. So this year we had the crazy idea to send off the family, Gabby and Josello and their 3 daughters, with a bunch of other staff, long-term staff, and just really get an opportunity to go and serve and receive in Argentina. So there's a group of 13 or 15 over there in Argentina. They've been there for about 5 weeks. They get back on Monday. So the house was definitely a different pace and feeling in March and April. We had the opportunity to have smaller staff meetings and breakfasts and just family time and game time and getting to really connect and build relationally. That's always a great opportunity that we have in March. Sun's out, stand in that glory. And the birds are singing. So much life. It's springtime, if you haven't noticed, in most places, unless the north of nations are getting crazy snowstorms. I was talking to a friend in Minnesota. Well, she's from Minnesota. She said last week her family got family, and then 2 days later it was 70 degrees, which I guess is middle 20s Celsius. So it's funny how quickly the seasons change and new life comes forth. But anywho, yeah, that's definitely been one of the revelations and one of the things as we've just had a different pace. So we just kicked off with the April DTS and leadership school. So we have lots of new faces in the house and just adjusting to the new season, and staff adjusting to new responsibilities and new opportunities and welcoming new people into the family. We just got back into our Friday community meetings, and so end of April now is just starting with getting back into the seasons. But it's funny because this year is looking very different for me. I mentioned a little bit of it, I think, in February, but some ideas were still shaping, whereas now they're looking a bit more certain. So I wanted to share them with you and also ask for your prayers and for financial support, and just have you to be aware for prayer and for standing with me in the days to come. So in May, actually, I'm going to be heading to Wales for a few weeks. You know, the church that we've been working with there. So I'm going to be there for most of the month of May, after a few days that we are having our annual gathering for Urban Key. Generally, we have the base Urban Key, and then we function within YWAM England. And so normally we have a annual YWAM England gathering and then Urban Key gathering later on in the year. But this year we're actually having a gathering with all of the United Kingdom, which is super exciting. So we're calling it the WISE Gathering: Wales, Ireland, Scotland, and England. So we're all going to be in the base in Harpenden. About 500 of us have signed up for the first few days in May. So that's coming up in, I don't know, like 2 weeks, next weekend. It's crazy. And then I'll head off to Wales, and then I get back at the end of May and have the amazing privilege to have a team coming from Central Church in Memphis. I think you remember maybe a couple years ago, Miss Nancy Crosby and Chris, Law, and Haley from home got to come and spend a week here in London just seeing what we do with YWAM and connect into the community. So we're actually bringing another team. And this year, the missions pastor gets to come. His name is Luke. So that's going to be super exciting to just have home church connected from Memphis into London again. So they'll be here the last week in May, beginning of June. And then June 9th, this is the exciting news, June 9th through the end of July, I actually am going to be heading up to Scotland for 6 weeks. Not sure, I may have talked to some of you about it. So I'm going to be a part of a school that's called the School of Word and Spirit. And it's more like a seminar, but it's actually the first time in about 8 years that I'm going into student and full receiving mode. So obviously when you're working in staffing schools and working with students, you're always walking in that teachable spirit and ready to learn and ready to receive. But this is no responsibilities, completely different base. That's been the theme, I think, for 2018, is the transfer of understanding that to receive is actually one of my biggest fights that God's wanting to take me into, one of my biggest strategies that he wants to strengthen. And I just realized I'm a bit immature in that strategy. I don't know if anybody else is like me. Sometimes I'm ready to run and ready to take care and ready to do, but there's definitely a key in being able to receive love, being able to receive kindness, being able to receive not just correction, but also approval, or just receive rest, not always have to move or always have to do stuff. And I'm super excited to be able to go to Scotland for the first time since I've been over on the island, and spend 6 weeks in a base right outside of Glasgow. It's called Seamill, YWAM Seamill. And the leaders are actually from South Africa, and it's just, I've heard that it's very interactive, movement between students and staff, and a lot of reading through the Bible and just spending intentional time in worship and intercession and seeking God's heart personally, but also for the nation and for one another. And I'm really just excited to have different parts of who I am come alive in this, come alive in a deeper way in this season. So definitely different for the summer. But that'll be to the middle of July. And at the end of July, we have our Bournemouth Summer Mission Outreach in down on the coast. And we're so excited this year to be connecting with more of local churches. And so we spent that time in February connecting and sharing and building relationship and just seeing, so hearing a lot of exciting possibilities of Bournemouth and what that's going to look like for our April school to be involved, for our July school to be involved, for local churches to be involved. And we're just going to take light and life down to Bournemouth. And then also have our Urban Key retreat down there. So it is going to be a crazy few months. Just wanted to really share that with you as far as upcoming, to be able to watch and pray, and planning to put those things in a newsletter so that you can have them written and have them as prayer things. But as we all know, I really like to talk, so I'm glad that you can have it all in your minds and in your hearts as you're standing with me. So just these last months have been great, seeing so much breakthrough in the day-to-day ministry. I think there's definitely been a shift with our kind of routine ministry that we've seen within Salvation Army, or the beauty kind of evangelism drop-in that we do on a Wednesday, just really seeing people hungry and open. We had a guy come in to get a haircut, chatting with Juliana, and just started sharing about depression, started sharing about his need for something different in his life. And we're just seeing that people are open to share their stories, and people are open to look for something deeper. Just having a deeper revelation of the fact that it's about the journey. For those of you who walk really closely with me, you'll find that really ironic. But really, I'm trying to press into just that journey. And when I say trying to press in, I just mean receive the fact that it's a journey. And there is a learning curve always. And there are seasons that change, and there are seasons that make sense, and there are seasons that don't. And there are seasons that have beautiful flowers like these that I'm standing by. I prefer these seasons. But there are also seasons that look really bare and look really hopeless, and yet there is still life there. So yeah, God is amazing. We're excited for all the new things that are coming, and I think personally, just excited for some things that are shifting and possibilities that God's opening up, and they're going to change everything. So just stay tuned. So yeah, May in Wales, June and July in Scotland, August doing outreach in Bournemouth, and just continuing with the Urban Key family, and then we'll stay tuned for what the rest of 2018 will hold. So bless you. Thank you for hanging out with me in the garden and the sunshine. And one more time, hope you haven't gotten too dizzy. Check it out. All that gorgeous, gorgeous stuff. This has been my view. So I'm hanging out with Papa. Thought I would share with you guys. Bless you. Love you. He's giving you sunshine. Giving me sunshine, reminding me that it is all about him, and we get to jump into that party with him, and just to enjoy the ride. So yeah, keep praying that I would enjoy the ride, and I hope you enjoy the ride as you go as well. Yeah. Just thinking about giving stuff. I get talking about the stuff and I forget to ask about the money. But it's been definitely a season of pressing in and just looking for the breakthrough on things. So this summer is going to cost about £700 in Scotland, which is different than the staff fees in London. So I'm raising that for the school. So if you want to give, £700 is about $1,000 US. So get in touch with me. You can give through YWAM Tyler or through my bank account here in the UK. Any way that God is encouraging you or speaking to you, you just say, hey, I want to support what's going on over there. And yeah, monthly fees, still working and living, and I'm going to cut this off because now the sky is keeping everything beautiful, and I don't want you to have to listen to it. So weed eating, gardening, all the beautiful stuff takes a lot of time. But anywho, have an amazing day. Bless you guys. Bye.